Strevens, as the dust settled on the 2022-23 season, what do you make of it looking back since your arrival?
Well, yeah, I had obviously the last 10 games of it. Yeah, a real mixed bag of results, performances, and probably summed up the season really in finishing where we did. Being the 10th place, it could have been potentially a few places higher, and it could have been a few places lower by the end of the season as well. So yeah, a mixture of results. But yeah, learned a lot in a short period of time, which I'm really grateful for. Got to know the boys really well, and some ideas that we want to put into place this coming weeks.
There have been a few good moments. I mean, Torquay and Boreham Wood, I think, stick out to me. But also some bad ones, of course, going to Gateshead and Southend. Do you think the negatives from those days and the lessons you've learned are better than the wins?
I don't know. I was just talking to Sam about. I think the Boreham Wood one for me was a really, really good day in terms of the performance that we put in. Because being completely honest, even the Torquay result, I'm not sure that we did enough on the day to win it. You're always happy when you win a game of football, but the Boreham Wood one, I felt that we definitely deserved to win that and probably could have scored a few more in the day. And then you look at them, I'm sat there watching it last week like a lot of people probably was, and I'm watching them 30 seconds or whatever it was from going to Wembley. So knowing where their consistency of Boreham would have been over the course of the season to get him in that position, but also focusing on the positives. I can always go to negatives of the Gateshead and Southend one, which I probably needed to see, but I'm very much one that, right, how can we make it more than performances of Boreham Wood or that type of result consistently over the season, and concentrated on them, characteristics of the players and the way we did things, and certainly at the end of the season doing a few different things differently in training and stuff like that. And then having a clear plan on what we want to try and do this summer, and hope that we can get it done. It might be a lot to get done in one summer, but we want some positive stuff to start happening so we can look forward to the new season.
I mean, one thing I think the supporters respected was the fact that you want to give everyone their fair and equal chance to prove why they should be at the club going into this season. Do you think that made the decision of doing the retain list any easier? You've seen everyone now, so do you think that made it any easier for you?
There's brilliant parts of being a manager and some tough parts. I think any manager at any level will say the hardest part is that when you have to make them decisions on people at the end of the season, because you get to know them. But yeah, you have to do it for the right intentions of me and the football club and what we want to do moving forward. But I think them decisions that you make have got to be for the best of everyone, and there's going to be some boys that have left that people are going to be disappointed with. Some players where you make decisions and they probably go to prove you wrong and do well for someone else. That's part of football. But it's having a clear idea of where we want to be and having a freshness to what we're doing as well. I think you have to bring. I need to bring in. By Lewis coming in as my assistant. There's someone new coming in to assess things, look at things like I was from a clear point of view, and we need some fresh faces to come within the building and within the training ground to inject a different type of atmosphere. The environment's going to be really important what we create, but I think personnel coming into it and knowing when I'm speaking to them over the course of the summer about what we want to do and what I expect from them is really good for them coming in that first day. So horrible part of the job is them retaining lists, but it has to be done for the best of the football club.
Since your first day back at the club, you've been really passionate on working to try and build what you think a Dagenham Redbridge side should look like on the pitch, and we've had many discussions so far about things that we can do off the pitch to make this club more connected to fans and what we want this club to be. Do you think the last 2 months or so has changed your vision compared to when you first came in?
I feel like things have changed at the football club. I think maybe expectation levels have probably gone up a little bit from when I was here, and we laugh and joke about it, but everyone called us a pub team from Essex that year. No one expected us to win the league. I think it was 40-1 outside the start of it. I was very fortunate I joined throughout the season and we kicked on. I look at that group of lads, and a couple of players aside, would any of them got signed for league clubs if we didn't go up that year? I'm not sure that they would have done or not. So it was quite a hard-working, humble, really grateful for the opportunity that we got. And I feel like I'm saying, I think the expectation levels, because we went up to League One as a football club, and then it was Football League for a good few years as well, and then the last couple of years with the investment coming in and the people supporting, I think maybe that everyone's like, well, this year we're going to be back up there again. And it hasn't, for one reason or another, quite worked out. But I think the biggest thing I've seen from it is seeing loads of faces that I still remember from being here as a player. Same fans, same people in and around the club, same people wanting to help, same people caring and loving it so much. And yeah, look, I know that the representation of the football team has to be what is the area and the people, and that's hard working. Want to see people giving their best, accepting that might not have a good day's work or might not do something good on the day, but seeing that their intention is to do it and really feel like they care and want to be there. Because if you're paying X amount for a match day ticket or a season ticket, or you're travelling up to Gateshead or wherever the place is, and you're spending your hard-earned money, you want a representation of you out there on the pitch. And I think why the team I was involved in and teams after was spoke about so highly was because of that togetherness that was built. It's crazy. I watched something the other day, John still talking about Luton and what's going on there. I watched Luton the other night, and if that wasn't a visualisation of a whole club and fan base buying into something, that game the other night watching them was incredible. One game away now from being in the Premier League, but it was probably just the attributes that John Still's brought into there as well, that he brought into the National League that I worked with. Is like work hard for the club, the team's more important than an individual, which is 100%, and know what you're representing, know the people you're representing, and then that's what we need to do, and that's the work that's been going into that. It's hard to do all in one thing. I'm going to need some trust in what I'm going to try to do, but whoever's coming in this summer speaking to people, it's got to be there, they're hungry to come here and do well and try and do well for the football club, and hopefully that will then transmit onto the training ground, and that will transmit into the performances when the fans start seeing us play again.
It's no secret that you want to bring in a few of your own players, a few players to help your squad and really build towards what you're trying to build here. What is required though to play for Ben Strevens' Dagenham Redbridge?
I think that the main reason we need to bring players in, you talk about players leaving, and we didn't cover it loads, but we lost some really good players. Josh Walker going to Burton Albion is amazing for Josh and amazing for the football club, because he's going to League One. He completely deserved it. Mac going off to Chesterfield, and then obviously when I've sort of joined, Rancy leaving quite quickly, Junior leaving quite quickly, so we lost some good players there. And then obviously even with this retained list, different reasons for players leaving and me making decisions on them. But someone like Robbo that's been at this club a number of years, great respect from the players now, a proper dagger. Him leaving, there's good players that left the building, so you have to bring in good players to replace him, and that doesn't mean that they have to be established, or this player's done this before, this and the other. No, it just has to be the right people. That might be some younger ones, it might be some experienced ones, but it has to be the right type of people, and that's really important that we do now moving forward. But I think the biggest thing I want from any of the boys coming into is that they want to come and play for Dagenham Redbridge. They want to become part of this. They want to, when I'm talking to them about, what they're going to have to represent and how they're going to have to play to get the fans behind them, that's what they can do. That's my job as a manager, to identify them characters. And as a staff, it's not just me, truthfully, it's anything I'm doing this summer is with help of other people as well, speaking to people. Lewis is speaking to a lot of people working as a team behind the scenes. But to get them humble, hard-working people, obviously that are good quality of football as well. Not just good. Although I want some good people in here. It's them. They've got the quality, but they want to come and play for Dagenham, and they want to try and be part of getting this club back into the Football League, because that's the only reason I come back here. Doing it as a player was amazing, but to try and do it now as a manager or be part of something to try and get this club back into the Football League is what I want to try and do. I know how hard it's going to be, but that's what I want to be, whoever I bring in, pushing to do that, to better themselves and better the football club.
Just finally, we've spoke before about how when you were playing here, Victoria Road was such a difficult place for opposition teams to come to and try and pick up a result. Of course, home form is so important when it comes to the league, especially in the National League. How do you think we can make that happen? How do you think we can make this place an absolute fortress?
Is literally going to be that any team that comes here, I was talking about, I had the door open earlier talking to someone about it, is that whenever a team's leaving here, they walk away from it going, God, that was tough today. And that means, look, we'll lose games because that's football. I want to win every single game, and it'd be amazing to win every home game. That'd be amazing next season. But whoever we play against and however we do it, that they walk away going, God, that was hard today. They're a proper team playing for each other. Everyone right behind them, the fans right behind them, good atmosphere around the place. We're talking about, me saying about Luton, that's what I'm saying. I see that the other night, and that's in the Championship, going to try and get into the Premier League. But a small ground, fans that want to see their team playing a certain way and want to see everyone working for each other because they're a hard working area too. That was all there in abundance. Me talking about us beating Boreham Wood, and on the day I was like, I thought we could have beat one by more, but knowing that we've gone to Boreham Wood and won, like everyone that's playing against Boreham Wood, when you come away from Boreham Wood or you're walking through them doors playing against Boreham Wood, you know it's going to be a tough game. And we all do it in different ways. Notts County is the toughest game probably you can play in the way they play football. But I just want people to walk away from Dagenham and Redbridge next year, hopefully they're not getting any points and walking away, but going, they've got something going well there. There's a togetherness, there's a team spirit, there's a feeling around the place, and we're working to do that now. Me just talking to you sitting in the office, I'm trying to change the office around, talking to players, bringing them here, trying to do stuff around the ground, whatever it will be, any little bits that we can do as a staff, as a playing staff, is going to be important to that, because there has been, and I feel it, there's a little bit of disconnect between the players and the fans at the moment, and I've got to try and bring that back together, and it's easy to do it with words and say what you want to do, but the only real way is going to be that when they start seeing us pre-season and early part of next season, they're going to see a visualisation of what they want to see. Like I'm saying, hard working together with obviously quality footballers as well, players that are got that attacking threat but are going to work hard for each other as well. So the words are easy, it's actually work, recruitment, and then work on the training pitch to show that on a match day, because that's the only real days they're going to see us. We're going to try and spend more time with them doing stuff in and around the club, and hopefully before and after games they get to meet the players and see that they're good people as well. But the only real way that you can show people that is what they see on a match day, and didn't give them nowhere near enough to cheer about in home games when I come in at the end of the season. So from the first day of pre-season going into the first day of the season, whether we're at home, away, whatever it's going to be, but as soon as we play that first home game here, I want them to see a different type of team, a team that they want to really get behind, and that hopefully will build into the moments I'm talking about.